Hello, welcome to the all-new Gerkinvision podcast. You may notice that things are a little different because this is not a Google Hangout.
Where am I? I can't see myself.
Yeah, exactly. No one can see anyone. It's wonderful because it means we can all do our own thing at the same time.
I can see you, Carbonwater.
Oh, well, hi. How's it going?
I'm outside in the bushes. So this is the new Gerkinvision format. Interesting. We'll see how it goes. Hopefully, much like the Let's Plays we've been recording, which started out pretty terribly, and they've been definitely getting better over time. Although it'll be a while before you guys see that improvement. It'll be better with time. So I guess like everybody who's here, which it seems kind of weird that we're so familiar with each other now because of the Let's Plays, but this is going to be going live today, so this will be the first time most people have heard most of you in this sort of context. So would you please introduce yourselves? Who we have with us this week? Alphabetical order. Why
Alphabets. I'm Carbonwater.
What do you do, Carbonwater?
Let's see.
Introduce yourself. My name is Carbonwater. Cool, sweet, done. I'm out of here. See you later.
I'm postal boy of the year, and I deliver the mails to the mail service, and sometimes I sit down.
Didn't you have a Sega game made after you? I remember that game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
A sweet paycheck for that. Yeah.
Oh.
Okay, you're done then.
Carbonwater is an animator.
Sitting down, I stand up.
Carbonwater is an animator and chronic masturbator. Moving on.
In that order.
In that order.
Oh boy. All right. Well, I'm Jess. I also go by Nemir or Nemir of Moonguard on YouTube. I make video game reviews and just Let's Plays and random top 10 videos because I'm an asshole. And yeah.
Wonderful.
With that.
Hello, everyone. I am Mark, otherwise known as 13, and I probably have a bunch of other aliases. I've lost count.
Yeah, why do you have
I
so
animate sometimes. I do video stuff sometimes. I've been doing these things, so you've probably gotten tired of my very droning-on voice.
Well, no, they wouldn't have yet because this is going live today. Whereas the other stuff you've been in won't be out.
I was talking to you guys.
Oh, yeah. Oh, we were sick of you before we met you.
No, I'm never sick of Mark. Don't be mean, you guys.
Mark's a lovely man.
You don't have to be nice to me, Jess. No one else is.
Oh. Okay. We're going to be formatting this a little bit different. Those of you who remember the Gerkinvision podcast back in the old days, it was very much a free-flow topic discussion sort of dealio where we just sat around and did our own thing and talked and whatever. This is going to have a little bit more shape to it because reasons. It's a little bit more organized that way. It's cleaner. We can keep it shorter and more concise that way, which is, that's good for everyone involved. So yeah, there will be topics that we'll be going through, and I guess we'll start off with what's everyone working on. I'll go last because I'm the host, and it's good manners to tell you guys what I'm doing last. But what about all you guys? Who's working on what these days?
Should we go in alphabetical order again?
Yeah, I'll just fight amongst yourselves. Everyone gets a knife.
All right.
Go ahead.
I'm picking the biggest knife, so I automatically win.
That's
not the
knife, it's a
spoon. You're fucked. I'm working on animations as always. What else would I do?
Yeah, but are you able to talk about those particular animations you're working on, or is it all top secret?
Yes. Not really. I'm working on another BGA animated thing because everybody's like, make another one. I'm like, yeah, later. So then I'm making it now.
Can you make more anti-gravity cat?
Of course I can. I've always I've got an idea for a third one, so
anti-gravity cat is my favorite thing that you've ever done. Is that serious? I love me some anti-gravity cat.
I better not stop.
Yeah, that's right.
If only it was nice and easy to make with tweens like another certain cat show. Cat with a
being Puppy Cat wasn't
face.
even made in Flash.
Talking about cat face.
Oh.
It's a cat with a face.
Yeah, it is.
It's got a big cat face. It's got the face of a cat and the body of a cat.
Yeah.
Actually, speaking of being Puppy Cat, this is totally off topic, but the beginning of the very first episode or mini-sode or whatever, I totally made my friend cry the other day because I recently acquired a job and then got fired. So I sat down with her and we're on a call and I go, hey, she just kind of goes, what's up? And I'm like, I got fired today. And she just about peed herself. It was beautiful.
It's beautiful. Beautiful.
Nailed it.
It's like that line from the cartoon, except it's being said by somebody else.
In real life.
That's hilarious.
That was the point.
Oh, you
Listen
guys.
here. Take your
Anyway.
sass.
Anyway, what are you working on these days, Jess?
I am working on a multitude of things, actually. I'm working on my Let's Play of Suikoden. Yeah, which Mark loves. He's the only one. So I'm more or less making it for Mark.
Yeah.
And
No complaints from me.
There'll be a wedding proposal in the last episode in the finale. That'll be amazing.
what was that?
Nothing.
Okay. I'm also working on a review for a game, which I can't talk about because it's a surprise.
Oh, everyone
Is
loves
it
surprises.
Slenderman? Slenderman.
No. No.
Is it Amnesia: The Dark Descent?
Is it
Literally,
Slenderman: The Arrival?
Is it Amnesia: A City for Pigs or whatever?
Is it Night Trap? It's Night Trap, I bet. It's got to be Night Trap.
Yeah, Mark's right. You
Night
win.
Tarp.
Night Tarp. And then, we're into voice acting on the side, but that's neither here nor there. So, woohoo.
There you go.
Ooh. Well, I'm actually working on the latest episode of Wonders of the Universe, which I
It's
think the last
happening
time I worked
again.
on it was...
After-
Yes, I'm actually working on it.
How long
It's
has it been
amazing.
since the last episode came out? Like a year?
When did I go to Australia?
Forever. It was a while ago.
Before that.
Yeah, it was long before that.
Yeah, but we got out of our dry spell, hopefully, and we're back into it. I'm also doing some video stuff for you, Dan, and I'm actually might have some other video projects, possibly other animated projects with a buddy of mine that is in the area that I live in, so no internets.
Really?
It's amazing. Yeah, this is actually new. He's been wanting to do some stuff to stretch his creative muscles, so might end up doing stuff with him.
Has he got
It'd be
good
good
kit?
is it what?
Has he got good gear?
He's talented.
Okay.
I don't think he doesn't have like the video gear, but we has some stuff, but we know we could rent it or possibly invest. I don't know. We've only talked about it once or twice.
Yeah, renting's probably not a bad place to start.
Yeah,
so
not
you
a bad
see
place
how
to
the
start
stuff comes together.
Until we make our YouTube monies. But
But
that's
that
pretty
YouTube,
much
that YouTube money.
other than that, I've actually been doing some coding for some apps for iPhone, and I'm hoping to do some more stuff. They're all like game based, board game based, so it's nothing special yet, but it's a start. I'm hoping to get more of those in there to eventually charge money for them and make money on the internet.
You're making board games on iPhone?
No. I'm making things to assist, like score trackers and stuff like that for my local gaming group that I hang out with.
Because Mark's a nerd.
Yeah, it's pretty nerdy.
but I like games that use your brain. What do? You sit there and play.
So you're saying you don't like Call of Duty, is what you're saying?
Too hard.
I like Call of Duty.
I like the first one on PC.
Yeah.
That was a good game. It's a shame about everything that came afterwards.
What? Wasn't Black Ops the first Call of Duty?
What? Modern Warfare 4? Call of Duty 4 wasn't the first one?
What?
Well, I guess. What am I working on?
Yeah, what are you working on?
Well, currently, I've been recording my playthroughs of Duke Nukem Forever and the Legend of Zelda: The Wind Waker with you guys for Game Over Gerkinman. So that's the thing I've been doing. I'm also working on Spoonage 2, which is nearing the halfway mark, which is pretty cool. It's taken a little bit longer than I was hoping, but that's coming along all right. It started off a little bit rocky, but it's finally starting to come together. What else am I working on? I'm working on something which I will announce when I have a trailer made for it, and that's all I'm saying. But it's a return of something that people have been asking for 5 years now.
Jesus?
People have been asking for Jesus to return for more than 5 years, Mark. I think. Don't quote me on that. Could be wrong. What else am I working on? Oh, I'm working on a music video with Channel Frederator. Actually, that's what I'll be working on when this podcast is finished. I'll have to do my animatic for my segment of that. And I'm also doing some animation for a Sailor Moon collaborative project. Even though I've never watched the show, I put my hand up to animate some of it just out of shits and giggles. And they gave me the worst parts of the episode to do. So I got that happening. That's pretty much mostly what I'm working on. Other than that, I'm still designing characters for Shooty and the Catfish. I've been tweaking the plot synopsises and that for that series, and writing up scripts for the other series that I'll be announcing when I have a teaser trailer ready. So yeah, keeping busy and working a lot. That doesn't count. No one cares about work.
Nah.
No, jobs suck.
They do. Okay, so the next topic is a fun one, because people are here now for video games, because this, of course, is a gaming channel, which begs the question, what's everyone playing at the moment, if anything? If you guys aren't too busy for games, what are you currently playing through? Or what have you recently finished?
I'll go first this time, because I never go first. I recently went back and played Fallout New Vegas. Just the base game, and made sure I went and did as many of the side quests as I could.
Now, did you play the original Fallout 3, or did you just jump straight into Vegas?
I played Fallout 3. I played everything, all the expansions DLC, except for the alien one, because it would always freeze when I tried to go into it. So
that's okay.
Waste of $10 there. Great. Yeah. I didn't do the DLC for Fallout for New Vegas, even though I heard it was really good. Some of them are really good.
Crappy, though.
I will say I didn't play New Vegas. I played the hell out of Fallout 3, but there were so many other games coming out that I never got around to Vegas. Yeah. And
New Vegas is pretty good.
Yeah.
Actually, we've got someone else here. I think maybe he's going to join us.
Oh.
Yeah, Jess. So you're still playing Vegas? You're playing it old school?
No, I finished that up.
You just
and now I'm in between games until something else interesting comes. I should go back to the first BioShock and finish that up.
Actually, yeah, that's
and some other older games too. Yeah, but that's for the future.
Yeah. What about you, Jess? What are you playing through, or if anything?
Besides Suikoden,
Animal Crossing.
Animal Crossing Wild World, because I don't own a 3DS, which makes me very sad, because I'd love to be playing that right now.
Oh, you're missing out.
But actually, excuse me. Actually, I've been meaning to pick up Chrono Trigger again.
Yeah, the DS port is actually really good, if you can find it somewhere.
Yeah. I have it. I own it.
Oh, then do that.
Well, then you found it.
Yeah. Problem solved.
But yeah, so I've been just waiting for a moment, because I've been like, do I want to play it? No, I want to play Animal Crossing. Yep.
Cool. What have you done?
That's about it.
I recently picked up, yesterday as a matter of fact, I picked up
That is
Super Mario
pretty recent.
3D World.
Oh, I'm jealous. I went into eBay this morning and they didn't have any copies sitting around. I was like, what?
Well, I went in yesterday and they had one copy left, and I was like, I'm buying that.
Oh, so they're all sold out for Christmas, even though no one owns a Wii U.
Yeah. Well, it's a good thing I live in a small area where, nobody hardly plays video. That's a good plus, but other than that, I'm halfway through finishing 15 other different games. Including Far Cry 3, Metal Gear Rising.
I love Far Cry 3. That was my favorite game of last year.
Rising was pretty good.
I haven't played Rising.
The new Batman game, Zelda HD, Wind Waker, Sonic Lost World, which I'm not going to finish because it's shit.
Is that a Sonic Jurassic Park crossover?
Yep, that's it.
That's awesome.
Deadpool.
That's the game where instead of Sonic's like, I've got to run slow.
What if I'm just not fast enough?
And Zombie U.
I
Pokemon
actually
Wild.
bought that.
Yeah?
How is it? Reviews
Oh.
weren't so great.
Yeah, it's pretty good. Apparently it's really short, but I haven't played that much of it, so I don't really know.
Mm.
And Mario and Luigi Dream Team. Which
I was
probably
looking at
finished
that. Is
'cause
that
there's
pretty good?
shitload of text everywhere, and I'm like, I don't care.
Oh, those games are all about the text.
Apparently it doesn't stop through the whole entire game. It's just tutorial filled from start to finish, so I'm like, it's not fun.
That's not so fun. Yeah, what am I currently playing?
No More Heroes 2.
I haven't played the second one. I bought the original No More Heroes for the Wii. I never finished it, and I traded it in. And then I re-bought it, the HD version for PS3, and I finished it in a couple of days.
Yeah.
And then the second one, they never did a HD release, at least not that I've seen.
Oh. Well, it's pretty fun from when I played so far. So.
Yeah, it's supposed to be better than the first one. I love the... Yeah, I'm a big Suda51 fan, for those of you who don't know. I know I talk about him a fair bit. I love... Even his, bad stuff I get some level of enjoyment out of.
I just dislike the amount of trash picking up minigames.
Yeah, they took those...
Yeah, they replaced them all with 8-bit kind of...
Yeah, are those better than the original ones?
Yeah.
I remember in the original having to walk around with a stick and stab scorpions in a car lot or something. It's great. What am I currently playing? I'm currently playing Tomb Raider, the reboot. Actually, I'll probably be finishing that tonight. It's fantastic, and you'll be able to see my playthrough of that sometime next year. Whenever sometime in the future, whenever we decide we're in a position to
when everything's made of chrome.
So I'm playing through that. And what else? I've just started playing through Super Mario 3D Land again on my 3DS because I just finished A Link Between Worlds, which is also fantastic. The other thing I recently finished is Conquer Live and Reloaded.
Neat.
Which definitely was a lot better in my memories than it was playing now. It was a lot of things. Fun for the most part wasn't one of them. I remember it being fun, but maybe it's just that because games have evolved so much since then. Going back to it was archaic, and some of the changes they made from the 64 version to the remake on Xbox were just daft, dumb, annoying changes.
Did you like that Van Helsing part?
Oh, they just put him in the Van Helsing outfit. I thought that was cute.
Yeah.
Well, I didn't like the way they added those goblins in spiked cases everywhere. Just I'm like, the platforming is already pretty bad, and then they've got those things everywhere now as well, just to make it even more awkward. Didn't very much appreciate that addition, and that's what I've been playing. Very exciting. We've got a topic for this month. A topic for this week. Sorry. Hopefully these will become weekly. Why not? Maybe bi-weekly. Depends on how many topics we can find. Yeah, I can think of a heap too. Well, the topic for whenever this one is before the next one. Obviously, everyone's up in arms because YouTube has been doing these content ID strikes on people for their Let's Play videos, their game reviews, their previews, all kinds of things because of their new bots that goes through and records everyone's content ID and matches and whatever. So that's a big thing. So we have another guest who's just arrived. I brought him in because he's a programmer and he mainly does Flash games, but you've also dabbled in doing Banjo-Kazooie level building mods.
Yeah, you could say that. And I haven't really made the mods. I just helped develop the software to allow people to make their mods.
Well, I think that's pretty impressive.
He made the tool.
So joining us is the original creator of Strawberry Clock from way back when, if anyone here's old enough to remember that.
Yep.
It's actually nostalgic to a lot of people now. I get IMs every once in a while saying, "Oh, I loved Strawberry Clock when I was in middle school. Oh my god, I can't believe I'm talking to you." I still get that stuff.
Yeah. I imagine it must feel great to be remembered that way. I have to remind people who I am, and they're like, "Nah, still don't know who you are."
I talk to you every day. I don't even remember who you are, Dan.
I would rather be remembered for doing, quality work instead of just me being bored when I was 14 years old and submitting crap. But, beggars can't be choosers, because I wanted to be internet famous when I was 14, and I got it.
Oh, everyone at some point wanted to be internet famous. So, it's a big deal. Everyone's in a big hubbub. Obviously, the big ones who've been talking out, Angry Joe's made a couple of videos about it. It's been all over Kotaku and Joystick and IGN, and thankfully, which is quite nice, some of the publishers are coming out and saying we didn't file these copyright reports or these infringements. Other ones like Nintendo and Sega obviously have been doing this for quite some time. Mm. It is worth mentioning this is only affecting people who have teamed up with partners. And what's happened is, if you're a partner, there are now two kinds of partnership. There are affiliates of partners and managed by partners. And if you manage by partners, the partners take care of all this crap and you don't have to worry about it, which is what used to happen for everyone who was involved with that partnership. But now, if you're just an affiliate, you get hit with the same content ID infringements as everyone who's not a partner gets. So basically, it's made the contracts of the partners, who are supposed to make all this stuff easier, pretty much pointless. And the partners are still getting a cut of that money that they're making off their ads. Which is obviously upsetting a lot of people, because there's a lot of people out there who are making a living, making pretty bottom of the barrel video game content, and there's some good video game content out there, but I'd say that the ratio for good independent video game content to crap independent video game content is probably about a 95-5 ratio. Would that be a fair estimation?
That's a scientific statistic. He didn't just pull that out of his ass.
That's
actual
right.
Real.
That's actual science.
I think it's actually a little bit more. I mean, a little bit less. Maybe 90%. That's just my opinion. I haven't been to YouTube in a while.
If you want to see
so
some of
maybe
the
things are a lot worse.
If you want to see some of the bad stuff, just go to YouTube, type in "Let's Play," and then search for "most recently submitted," and you'll probably find some bad stuff.
Yeah, I really want to watch bad audio stuff of someone getting stuck on the first level of X game because they didn't read the instructions on the tutorial.
Tutorials are boring. Oh, I'm stuck. What do I do? Which, fair tutorials, I think, that could be a subject for a whole other time. The state of tutorials. That'd be an interesting topic. Where was I going with this? But I think what's happened is a lot of people started making a living off it, and then every blow Joe with a $3 microphone from Radio Shack decided that they wanted to make a living doing this, and so you've got everything from people with cheap capture cards and poor mics to people filming their televisions.
Oh, God.
I still find people who are still brand new games, and they set up their webcam in front of their television, and their videos are monetized.
That's not even the worst of it. A little while ago, I came across, I think they were 10-year-old kids. They were playing a Nintendo game, and they were filming it with their phone, their camera phone.
Were they holding it? Did they at least put it on a dry...
It was
Did they at least put it down on something?
I think it was on a pizza box or something.
It's every time you think there's nowhere lower to go, they do stuff like that.
Yeah, someone finds a way.
It was so far away that you couldn't even tell what was going on the screen. It's what?
I hope you added that to your favorites. I'd love to see that.
Yeah, I think I would be too high for
Like, comment, subscribe.
So obviously, I think that's the way this thing needs to be looked at. I mean, we need to break this down into parts. So we've got the publishers. And also keep in mind that a lot of publishers are open companies who answer to their investors. And their investors don't necessarily give two shits about games or gamers or whatever. They're saying, hey, these guys are making money off our investment. Even if the publisher is cool with it, investors may not be, which I think is the case with Nintendo. Nintendo have always been pretty supportive of fans making content based on their stuff. And then with the Let's Plays, Nintendo is monetizing their videos, and I'm wondering if that's not Iwata sitting there in Japan going, we should do that. I'd say that's probably more the investors than anything, because the Wii U's hurting pretty bad.
Lawyers too, probably.
Yeah, lawyers.
Yeah, it is very good to point out that video games, the majority of them going out, especially through the big companies, are businesses.
Yeah.
You were buying a product, you were not buying a piece of art, you were not buying something like that. Hey, I like video games, we're going to make a video game. Granted, that's in there, but these are all major productions that cost millions and millions of dollars to make. And they're not just going to say, hey, let's make it because we like it. No, they're going to put a lot of planning into it, get investors, get people to fund it, and it becomes a product. It becomes something that can sell goods.
See, a lot of the more independent studios love this Let's Play thing because they understand the value of free advertising, and that's a point a lot of people who do these videos are pointing out. But at the same time, a lot of these big companies, the people who are in charge of the companies aren't in it for video games. They don't care about video games. They just care about the bottom dollar. And, every cent counts. Because a lot of people blaming YouTube for this. They're saying it's a problem with YouTube. I don't know if that's true. I think it's like YouTube's algorithm might have some bugs in it that's causing more content ID claims than it should be.
Glitch. It has to be done on purpose. That'd be one hell of a coincidence if that was a glitch. I understand that.
It's not refined to the point that it's going to pick up a lot of false positives where people may have permission, or it's not getting... picking up music, or it's not picking up the cutscenes or things like that, but it's still flagging them.
Yeah, like a good example would be there are certain people out there who are paid by companies to review their game and were given footage to use, and those videos that were paid for by the companies have then been flagged by the ID system, and they have to go to the publisher to get whitelisted.
I was listening to something the other day. They were talking about this kind of thing, and there was an independent developer on it. And he was saying, well, he doesn't mind, because they need the attention and all that. And his company was, for some reason, just going in and flagging stuff, and it was out of his hands. It wasn't even, him doing it. So it's like these, these bots going around just doing stuff, and it's like, what? I'm not doing that.
There are also people out there putting false claims in on behalf of companies, which is a
company that's associated with another company.
That would be one of the big ones. There's a lot of video games that have licensed music in them. I'm not just talking about Grand Theft Auto 5 with all its licensed tracks, but there's a lot of companies out there who outsource third-party music or use stock music libraries, and they pay a licensing fee for that music. And if you make a video that has that music from that part of the game, a lot of people would argue that it's in the game, so it should be okay. But if they've licensed that music and it isn't owned by that game studio, then that isn't necessarily the case.
Should just not use music.
Should just not use... Yeah, if you want to monetize your video, don't use music. And it's the same with like a lot of people saying, but that song's in the public domain. You're like, well, yeah, the song is, but that recording was done by the London Symphony Orchestra.
YouTube has detected Mario's jump. Oh, shit.
I've actually noticed that some videos, they actually have the sound muted when a copyright claim on the music is made. They don't have the whole video taken down.
Yeah, I've had that happen to some of my classic animations that I uploaded because I had music. It'd either be like, here is a selection you can replace it with automatically. And it erases all the audio in that area, or there are other ones that just mute it. It seems very strange how it decides. But
it just mutes everything, even if you have a second of copyright material.
Yeah, so that's the thing. The content system isn't checking how much of it you have, and I guess what's fair use, Mark? Is it like 10 seconds all up?
I don't know if there's a standard for fair use. I'm sure if it's just a couple seconds, it's probably... All right, so here's what I had learned about fair use when I was in college. Fair use isn't, at least at the time, isn't a law. It's a defense.
Yeah.
It's basically... There's not a law that says you can use it if. There's a thing that says... that I guess there's been precedents in cases of saying, well, we're using it for reviews... or there's exceptions to the copyright law.
There's a lot of people saying that we should get to use everything we want because fair use is a law. Don't you know this law? And it's like, well, no. Yeah. And it's certainly not an international law.
Not, yeah. Yeah, and honestly, that's a good thing to bring up is that there's different countries have different copyright lengths.
Yeah.
And when good old America keeps pushing it back every 20 years for another 20 years. Oh,
well, good old Disney, to be specific.
God. Thanks, Disney.
Mouse.
House of Mouse.
But yeah, it's copyright law already is very not quite murky, but it's not completely refined.
It's certainly very archaic when you compare it.
Yeah,
it wasn't written when the technology was like an issue.
Yeah, and it hasn't been updated. It's just been extended, and they're considering that now we have you can have like patents and copyrights on software, things that don't last, that really shouldn't last more than 20 years because the technology just updates so fast.
Yeah,
it's something that really kind of does need to get updated. But in the case of fair use, I guess what people are claiming is that I'm doing a review or I'm using it in a video that is in a Let's Play. That's not even really a review. It somewhat is, but people are just saying that because I'm not directly selling this or something, you're just using it for advertising. The advertising a byproduct. I can see people just thinking that's fair use, but it's not technically.
Well, and that's the other big thing is because gameplay is an interactive format.
Yeah,
it's not a movie. I mean, like I can understand being busted for if you were just to upload all the cutscenes from a game. I think that should be a thing that would be taken down.
Well, you
shouldn't be able to monetize.
You also have to remember that the art assets in Zelda are. You can't just take a screenshot of gameplay of a thing and put it on a shirt and sell it.
Yeah, exactly.
That's copyright infringement. And it just because you're adding your own copyrighted material to it, which is your voice and your gameplay, but it's still technically a derivative of the original work, and that's still under copyright.
It's the same laws, and like a lot of people aren't acknowledging this, but when you make a remix of a song, no matter how much you change it, you can't just put that up and start selling it. You need to pay the original. This is where it comes out of royalties. You pay royalties. Yeah. People who are doing YouTube videos aren't paying royalties for their stuff, and they're complaining because they might have 5 seconds of footage, and all of a sudden they lose all the monetary rights to their content. Which is, if you've made a 20-minute video and you got 15 seconds in there, and that 15 seconds gets all that money diverted to another company, yeah, I agree, that's pretty shit.
Yeah.
And it doesn't seem ethical if you're the individual who's had it happen to you. But a lot of people seem to go into this thing without actually looking into this stuff beforehand, or they see other people aren't doing it, and so they're like, "Well, I'm not gonna do it."
Yeah, this is actually an interesting point that I've asked once or twice. Is that how many people out there who do these Let's Plays, or reviews or any such similar things on YouTube have actually gone to like the video game companies that own the software and looked into purchasing or asking to use the rights.
Yeah.
Licensing, yes, that's the word. Any of that.
Some of them do. Some of them get permission.
I'm sure some of them do, yeah. But I'm guessing the vast majority don't because they feel that it's under fair use or they don't even know about it.
Well, it's easier if it's like an indie game or something. Like some people get the rights from some indie developers. It's like, can we play your game on your show?
Yeah.
Or, help you with sales and shit? And it's like, yeah, okay, sure, why not? And then they don't need any money on it.
And it's like people say like, oh, this is a PR trailer or whatever that I use. But I mean, a lot of that content you download yourself from YouTube or the website or whatever, and then they pointed IGN, and I was like, yeah, but IGN gets supplied all this content by the publishers and by the developers to actually use. They're not just sourcing it from other places and then using it in their own stuff. They're being given that through deals and contracts from the publishers and developers to use that content in their reviews.
And it's on their own website anyway, not like
as far as trailers are concerned and that anyway, yeah.
And here's something to ask Jess, because she's been very quiet.
But she's actually out at the moment.
Oh.
She'll be back.
Ask her anyway.
I'll ask her anyway. Jess, why? Why?
Just
good answer.
Oh dear.
I'll ask her when she gets back.
So, Adam, you had some interesting points earlier before I rudely cut you off because I told you I wasn't recording.
Twice.
About how you think like a fair balanced system, and I agree in a lot of ways with you about your thoughts on the topic.
Okay, well, I feel like if someone uploads a YouTube video that contains content that somebody else made, and they're making money off it, I feel like the original people, like Nintendo, have full rights to get money from that. Yeah. I'm not thinking they should block it off. I'm thinking that maybe they should send a message to these people and say, hey, we're Nintendo. Either you remove your content or you give us 50%.
Well, that's the thing. They're not removing people's content. They're just basically diverting the ad revenue to themselves as opposed to it going to the content creators.
Okay, well, they're not removing it. My point still stands that they should at least compromise with the people because There are popular Let's Players out there who actually do help the sales of video games.
Yeah, for sure.
And I feel like just, compromise 50-50 or whatever they think is fair.
Yeah.
Yeah, that does seem like an ethically good way to deal with the situation. Business is murky, though. I do want to point out that based on that, it does... Does anybody note the irony in people complaining to video game companies that after using the video games company's copyrighted work, that their work has now been violated?
Have you ever noticed that gamers are the biggest whinging bunch of sooks on the face of the planet?
I have, actually. Back when I played online.
They bring up the 1976 excuse without even knowing what it's about.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about.
Oh, boy. Yeah, I think the idea of, as you're saying, like it, not the companies coming in and remonetizing their thing. I mean, obviously some companies are always going to do that. I know mainly Square Enix, Sega, and Nintendo have been doing it, but which are all Japanese companies, interestingly. But yeah, there definitely is room for, like a royalty system where, you know what, you keep this 90% of this ad revenue and we'll take like a 10% royalty from that because we do own that IP. And I think, I wouldn't be surprised if down the line, if YouTube's infrastructure allows for it, something like that could happen. But I don't know that that's the problem, because I don't think this just affects video game people. It's movies and music and everything. And I mean,
which is kind of nice, because I can tell you I've gone on YouTube and seen clips of movies uploaded by some pissant, and he has a 15-second ad before it, and I'm like, it's
really frustrating seeing Family Guy compilation clips with 1 billion hits, with ads on the beginning.
Yeah.
If you do the math, that makes a lot of money just for uploading someone else's content.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I mean, I don't want to go out there and, once again, I don't want to go there and just saying, everyone who makes video game videos on YouTube is a complete knob, because as I've been pretty open with the fact that I don't enjoy a lot of it. It's not that a lot of them are targeting an audience, of 13-year-olds, and I'm sure if I was 13 and I had access to this stuff, I probably would have been watching a lot of Let's Plays of games that my parents couldn't afford to buy me.
Oh, yeah.
And it's not my scene, but I do enjoy listening to people like Yahtzee Crawshaw talk while he's
whether they intended or not. Whether they intended or not, these videos have a target audience. If they got views, they have a target audience. Yeah. And even if they're not in your target audience, people are watching them.
Yeah, exactly. Mm-hmm.
Well, and I mean, in this day and age, if you're interested in the game, you're gonna be like, well, is this game any good? I better look on the YouTubes or watch somebody else played it for 10 minutes or so to see. It's pretty good. I might buy it.
Yeah, see, I've never really watched Let's Plays for that, but I mean, when I do watch them, it's usually for the. And this is worth talking to. People don't go to a lot of the major Let's Plays for the games; they go there for the individual. Which I think was a point that Total Biscuit made out. No one's going to PewDiePie to watch him play games. People, for some reason, they're going to him to watch him act like a retard.
Well, I remember back in the day.
The games are the stage for that.
Back in the day when...
Jess is back.
Jess is back. Welcome back, Jess.
I feel like I jumped in at just the right time. It sounds like we're talking about people going to YouTubers to watch videos video games.
That's what we've been talking about the whole time.
Well, no.
Anyway, as I was saying, back in the day when YouTube very first, started doing their thing when it was fresh and new. The only reason why I went to Let's Plays and started watching this stuff is to watch games that I'd never played before, and I probably would never get the chance to play. So it was that was the only reason that I watched those kind of videos.
Yeah.
As it goes on, it's well, let's maybe add personality and not be boring. And then it's well, these guys are kind of funny.
Now everyone's I've got personality. I'm always angry.
It's good to point out that it's still a young market in a sense.
It is.
And use the term loosely. It's still fairly new. And
the internet itself is new. Copyright on the internet
really,
is new as a whole.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, copyright and the
definitely.
internet have never, since the internet
Never got
launched,
along.
gone hand in hand.
That's a good segue. I wanted to go back and ask Jess, since you've
Yes.
done Let's Plays before, right, Jess?
Yeah.
Once or
Okay.
twice.
Have you ever attempted to contact companies to get the rights to secure rights and pay royalties to use that content?
No, actually. Which makes me
Oh.
a very bad person, but
Well,
no.
well, there's also the fact that you play all your games on emulators as opposed to the actual consoles. Jess is a
We'll
bad
bleep that
example.
I'm a very bad example.
Make sure you play games that are Japanese only. You'll never make it across seas. That's legal, right?
But the thing is, whenever I started my channel to begin with, I didn't go in with the intention of making Let's Plays. It was something that I decided to do after because I enjoyed playing video games and I enjoy watching Let's Plays. So I figured, well, why not try to jump into the market? Because whenever I do video game reviews, I don't go into full detail explaining every little thing about the game, like the story, right to the like I don't spoil it essentially. I review a game in the fact that I want people to go out and buy it and play it. And
Do
if
you
anybody wants,
do you monetize your work, either your Let's Plays or your reviews?
if I'm able to, I do.
Okay.
But I understand that if like I'll do it, and then if YouTube's like, oh no, you can't do that, then I'll okay, no, it's not a problem.
Well, I mean, like,
I'm not in it for money.
Even with these Game Over Gerkinman episodes, I mean, I'm monetizing them, but I'm not expecting to like make a living or anything off them. But it'd be nice to make the money I've spent on the games back at the very least.
Yeah, but it's like I didn't get into this business for the money. I got into it because it's something that I
That's
enjoy.
what we'll
If
get
I make
into
money while
next.
doing it, then great. But
Yeah, I just thought of, being a YouTube partner would be just nice to get a free lunch every month.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I mean, if you,
like I'm a partner on both channels. I'm a partner.
well, they're also like a lot of us. Well, three of us at least are from the generation of let's put our work online for free because people will enjoy it. I mean, we've been me, Adam, Carbon, Mark. We've all been releasing stuff online since 2003.
Yeah.
Monetization's a very new concept to us. We were doing stuff for free just because we love doing it for the last 10 years.
There was no other option.
Yeah, there was no other option.
Yeah.
And so, like, there's a lot of people now, and a lot of the people who are complaining. There's a whole bunch who've like built their name up over the last 4 years, and for them, I'm sorry this has happened. That's very unfortunate. Then the other vocal minority are the people who got into it just for the money, and they're complaining because now I'll have to work like a normal person.
Oh, I have to get a real job for me.
Yeah, I was going to make a McDonald's joke like I did like on Facebook. Like I've spoken to a lot of Let's Players and like who've made shithouse videos. Not that I told them that to their face, but they bad recording quality, terrible editing because they were using Windows Movie Maker, just all around no idea what they were doing and dumping their stuff online and getting a decent amount of traffic. And and they'd say, well, like this is I'm not making the best content, but it still beats making stuff at making burgers at McDonald's. I'm like, and to me, it's kind of like one way or another, you're making shit for consumption. It's not good content.
Not only
McDonald's
that, but
is not good burgers.
Not only that, but they'd probably make more money at McDonald's than they would in their
working less
lifetime.
hours. And
not to mention that I'm pretty sure working at McDonald's is better to put on a resume than making YouTube videos.
That's right. And I mean,
unless you have a very
like-
large fan base,
Yeah.
Well, I recorded
Like, if you
myself
have, like, a million
with a
subscribers,
webcam, and that made me lots of money and made me internet popular. Hire me. No,
Yeah.
that's not how it works. Sorry.
yeah,
I mean,
no,
not
it's
all the
not.
video game content is bad, like Gerkinman said. I mean, there's a few good ones that I used to watch. I don't go to YouTube that often anymore, anyway. And I feel like if their stuff is quality, but that's just my opinion because quality is subjective. Just because you think something is quality doesn't mean other people
of
are
course.
gonna.
When I say quality,
yeah.
I usually mean in terms of like I look at like the video
Production
quality,
values,
audio quality,
yeah.
production values, and people say, well, it's expensive to do it otherwise. I'm like, I'm using a $1,000 computer. It's cheap. I can't even barely play games on it, and I can make decent looking stuff on it. I don't know
That's
what you're talking about.
expensive to little teenagers, though.
Yeah, well, if they can afford a PC that can capture the footage off their consoles and play Battlefield 4, yeah, they've probably got a better rig than what I have. A lot of them are using pirated software to do their stuff too.
I don't even know how much a capture card is. I'm sure it's not that much these days.
My HDMI capture card was $200.
You can get them for like Best Buy or like Future Shop. Or is Future Shop even open anymore? I don't know. Anyway, you can buy them at like electronic type stores for like
Canadian
$60.
shops.
Yeah. I mean, like the one I've got gives me the option, like it comes with software so I can record at 1080p, which I don't because I'm on Australian internet and I'm not uploading 1080p files. But, I can capture, it's just HDMI and it captures everything beautifully. Mm-hmm. But it's not a big investment at all.
No.
And I mean, there's plenty of cheap, good editing software out there as well. Windows Movie Maker is not that.
It's impossible to use.
Every time I see that Movie Maker trademark, which is just a cyan background with that text in front of it,
Comic Sans.
Those one-click intros.
Yeah.
Well, even if it's low quality, as you say, some of their content might be good. They might just look past that they got a shitty webcam. Maybe what they're saying is good. That's what some people might.
Yeah, well, that's just like there's a few Let's Players that I watch, and their quality or their production, it completely differs. But just because one Let's Player uploads HD, and he has good commentary and stuff like that. There's another Let's Player that I watch, and she used to anyway. She only recently upgraded, but she used Movie Maker, Windows Movie Maker, and it wasn't the greatest video quality, but it was still good.
Yeah.
Yeah, it all comes down to the content. But I mean, that takes me to the next point too. And a lot of the people who are like, "How am I supposed to do a video review if I can't use footage?" No one does that. No one's successfully done that. I'm like, what about fucking Yahtzee? Is probably one of the greatest video game reviewers out there, and he never uses any game footage at all. Mm-hmm. If you write well and you're clever, you don't need that stuff. But I guess most people who make this content can't write well or are clever.
So if you got 400 videos and they've got about 10 views apiece, then you should probably stop.
Yeah. I mean, like, that's the other thing people complain about. Oh, how are small upstarts supposed to, like, get their footing? But, I mean, how has any small upstart got their footing in the last 2 years, realistically? Everyone who's successful now are people who started way back when. There are very few people who have, like, just hit the ground running from nothing anymore. I'm not saying it can't be done, but I'm unaware of any.
And there's also a lot of people that are like hanging out for that boost. It's like, oh, one day someone popular will like my video, then I'll get all the views and descriptions and blah blah blah.
Yeah. Not necessarily how it works. I mean, like,
it can happen.
It can happen. A lot of the time,
it's not impossible. It's just improbable.
Yeah. It's easy to befriend people through other means and then go from there.
Networking. That's the secret word, networking.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I'm going to add Casey to the call to get his thoughts on the topic.
Oh, then nobody else will be able to talk.
Yeah, that's right. Welcome to the show, Casey McDonald.
What the frig is this?
Yeah. We're having a conversation about because you were talking to me about this yesterday, and I know you've been keeping pretty close tabs on the scenario.
It interests me, this whole thing. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yes.
You're very muffled, though. Are you
kind of echoey. Should put some
What?
furniture in that giant empty room of yours.
Yeah.
Look, shut up. I don't need your cynical. I don't know what it's.
Oh, that's okay. I can just hear your voice bouncing off the walls and back in the microphone. No big deal.
Look, I don't have blankets hanging on the walls like some people, so just deal with it.
Anyway, what are your thoughts on this whole situation, Casey?
Wait, hold on. Let me change this one thing.
All right, that should fix it.
Jesus Christ, that's better! Oh my lord!
It was set. My camera was recording instead of my microphone. So there
Casey was emulating what many YouTube Let's Players sound like.
That was a beautiful example.
No, it's Gerkinman. Gerkinman, did you watch Total Biscuit's video on that? I know I linked it to you. But
Yes, I did. I quite like Total Biscuit. He's what I like to
such
call an intelligent person. Yeah.
I really liked his bit at the end, because he always talks both sides, and at the end of it he was talking about how you know, you got a lot of these companies will go and look at like the average like Let's Player, and they're just like, who is this guy blabbering on with this crappy microphone over the top of all of our voice actors we've been paying? Like this is ruining our product. You know, like
I totally understand where anyone who wants to think that way is coming from.
Oh, so are we recording a podcast right now?
Yeah, man, we're recording right now. We're in the middle of that conversation.
Oh, okay. Well, that's fine. I just wasn't sure.
That's okay.
I guess I can't say racist things.
No, this isn't Xbox Live.
Yeah. Oh, those white people.
Those goddamn crackers.
I can't stand the blue people. Seriously.
But yeah, no, I've been keeping close tabs on it because it's
Because you were doing Let's Plays, weren't you? Let's get that out of the way first.
Yeah.
You were doing lovely Slender Man Let's Plays because that was popular at the time, and you're a sellout.
I kind of am a sellout. Well, with me, it's less because, like, and I was talking to Joseph Blanchett about this yesterday. It's less because I want to cash in on the stuff and be like, oh yeah, I'm going to make a living off of this. It's more that just I like the content. I really like the community. I really like it. It's a lot of fun to do.
I hope you enjoy Game Over Gerkinman when it launches next year.
Like I will probably still do it, except that I don't have the time.
Do you monetize your work right now, Casey? I can't remember.
It automatically monetizes anymore. It's like you don't really have a choice. YouTube just does it, and then like
YouTube's
if it gets
like,
flagged,
hey, we like money, and you made some things. We'll take some of that. Thank you.
Yeah, they just do it anyways now. And now if it gets flagged for copyright or whatever, they just take all of the money. You don't get any of it. They just take them. So like, and
that's what's funny about this whole situation is like we're already familiar with this because YouTube's worked like this for ages. The people who are affected were with partners, and they're basically being treated like normal people now. Yeah, that's what the hubbub's about.
YouTube, because partnership on YouTube was fucking difficult to get, and I'm sure it still is. Like,
I don't think it is anymore.
Anyone can get partnership these days.
Yeah, I had in the span of a couple of weeks. I had
1,000 views on one video, and you can easily get partnership.
Yeah, I had in the span of a couple of weeks. Machinima, Frederator, and Maker Studios all approached me.
Oh wow!
Wow.
Well, it used to
I went with Frederator because they're not made of dicks, and Machinima fucked me over before I even signed a contract with them.
Well, it used to be really tough. Like it used to be pretty ridiculous. Like you had to have just thousands of followers and stuff. But yeah, nowadays I guess it's easier. I don't know. I never really looked into it because, like I said, I never really cared. I just liked doing it. I just thought it was fun. And I had some minor success with it, but I don't think I have the time. So, but the reason I've been keeping close tabs on it is more because the stuff ToonWorks does, like Wonders and all that garbage. It's more like original content, which is unaffected by all of this, most part.
We go out of our way. We go out of our way to make sure we get try our best anyway to get Creative Commons sound effects or public domain sound effects and creative content music, and sometimes original music and things like that. So we actually go out of our way to avoid copyrights even before they would be unnecessarily picked up.
Yeah.
I've been
content ID.
I've been theorizing with a couple other people. We've been trying to figure out what's going to happen, because a lot of people have no clue. Like they're just sitting around like, I don't know, all these channels might be shutting down. Like we don't know what's going to happen to YouTube. So
one of the big things that's happening is like if say like Maker Studios or someone has just one channel that just breaks too many copyright infringements, and that's why they started the affiliates and the managers programs. Is so if it's one of the affiliates, it then becomes that channel's owner's legal responsibility to fight off anything. And that way, Maker can continue while that artist gets fucked over for doing the wrong thing. Which is, people are upset about it. I say that's smart business on Maker's part. They shouldn't be fighting the legal battles for people that they don't really have any control over.
Well, there's been a lot of people that are super pissed about this. If you saw the Angry Joe video,
I saw both of them. He was a bit calmer this morning, but he's
I didn't see the new one, but he was so pissed.
But that's Angry Joe. That's his shtick.
I don't like people that's their shtick, where they're just angry.
Everyone who makes video game videos is just angry all the time.
Like, that's why I think I like just being really goofy and just screwing around and making everybody else mad.
So you want to be like PewDiePie.
But I don't remember watching PewDiePie's stuff. I just kind of did my own thing. But aside from that, like he was really mad about it. But it's like, because they'll say like, oh, they just want money. They're just a bunch of money grubbing assholes. And it's like, they're covering their asses because like, they don't want to get sued. Like Google is terrified of being sued, and like
I don't know if you know this, Casey, but if you have a lot of money, you don't want to get sued.
Yeah.
Did you know that? How selfish of them to not want to get sued just because I'm doing things against the law.
I thought that Google's game plan was for them to dominate the world so they couldn't get sued.
That's kind of the direction they're going in.
Yeah. I'm sure the Google don't want to do this, but their hands are probably tied.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's at a point. I mean, like, what else are they going to do? I mean, like, there's so many people on YouTube that just abuse the shit out of it, And it's like, yeah, it's bad that it's a blanket policy. Sure, maybe there's other ways to do it, and I agree that I think YouTube, like, really mismanages and miscommunicates everything it does really poorly lately. Like, they're very bad.
I almost wonder if it's because the amount of users on YouTube dwarfs the number of people who are working there by such a large... and there's like 45 hours of content are uploaded every minute.
Yeah.
How do you police that?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, like, they've got to use it with robots, and... Oh, hold on, I'm being called. I'm going to decline it. I'll just tell them I got sucked into a podcast.
Can't talk, busy talking.
Can't sleep, clowns will eat me.
But yeah, it's like, I mean, I sympathize with a lot of these people. That's their well-being. Like they make their money this way.
Yeah.
But it was something we all saw coming. I think I said that to you a couple days ago.
Yeah,
where it was like, we saw this coming ages ago. Where it was like, sooner or later they're going to crack down, and there's nothing we can do about it.
A good point someone else has pointed out to me too is that YouTube doesn't hire anyone. It's a free service that people can choose to use. If I go to a public place and say, I'm going to set up a hot dog stand and just start selling hot dogs to people on the street, and then the council comes up to me and says, hey sir, where's your permit for that? And I say, I don't need a permit. I'm doing this for the good of the people because the people like hot dogs.
I'm reselling Nathan's hot dogs because it's a mutual thing. I buy their hot dogs.
It's like
they
you can't go to a public...
I sell their hot dogs. I get profit.
Yeah, it's a bit like Google is a service. It's not if you're making if you're making YouTube videos for a living, you're self-employed, and it's up to you to keep yourself employed.
YouTube has
YouTube's the platform you've chosen.
Yeah,
to put your work.
They have no.
Why everybody's getting so mad and outspoken is because they're just trying to claw their way out of this mess, just trying to stay alive.
Yeah.
I mean, it's really sad, but it's like I said, it was a disaster we all saw coming. It's a disaster we all saw coming. I'm surprised people didn't start covering their asses months ago. I'm going to be honest.
Years ago.
Well, it was pretty much inevitable to happen at one point anyway, with a service that's like, you can upload anything. It's like, I'm going to upload all the musics.
I'm uploading entire movies.
Yeah.
Now, I mean, on the flip side of that...
No, let Adam talk. Casey, shut up. Do this every goddamn time.
He can talk if he wants to. He can talk if he wants to.
I talk too much.
Casey talks too much. He acknowledges this. You go, Adam. You've tried a few times now.
Okay, here I go. I think it's sad, but like, there are good people out there who make good content that deserve to be self-employed by making the content that they make. And others not, if you're just going to upload clips of TV shows with ads at the beginning. I'm not feeling sorry for them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, it's justified for some people, for other people it's not. But like I said earlier, that if it truly does fall under, that this stuff could be used, fair use, actual fair use, that maybe the company should actually contact the person and just say, you're using our contact. We don't, it may or may not fall into fair use. Why don't we just split 50-50?
Well, actually, because I didn't tell you that, but there are publishers who are saying, we love this stuff. If it's affected you, contact us and we'll get it sorted out. But I imagine those publishers must be getting absolutely hammered. With requests now, and that's costing the publishers money because of YouTube's fuck up on their end.
Yeah, well, because it's like Angry Joe brought this up. He did an interview. Oh, I'm so sorry, Mark.
Oh, no, wait. I was just thinking off the top of my head. I mean, with the publishers, they're the ones who would have a contract with Google or YouTube, wouldn't they? They would actually be the ones that would actually have to complain about this. And
no, because what's happened is, I guess there's like a big library that has all of the audio and all of the video and all the cutscenes and all the things in the world, and it's scanning against that, and so it's automated. And it just assumes
the infosphere.
It assumes that the owners are going to want to claim on it.
There's like this massive room in YouTube headquarters where there's just every movie and every song in the entire universe that it just matches up against.
That's pretty much what they have.
But yeah, like that's what it sounds like.
Gotta be?
It's like a 2 terabyte hard drive.
That's it.
Yeah, there's just someone's computer somewhere. But no, like what was it? I'm trying to think of, like, Angry Joe brought this up, though. Now, there is a lot of fraudulent crap that's going on. For example, he was saying that he had an interview with, like, the people that made the new Tomb Raider game or whatever. Yeah, and it got flagged by Tomb Raider. And it's like, what? It isn't even about the game. Like, how does that happen?
Yeah, there's a lot of people making false claims under the guise of the new system. Trolling.
And that's bad. Like, that needs to be stopped. That's something else Total Biscuit brought up, too, is that is actually provable lost revenue that currently no one's doing anything about. That's terrible, I mean, but I don't know.
It is one of those weird things. But, I mean, like, at the same time, like, with a lot of these things, like, if I was running a TV show and I captured 15 minutes of game footage, or 15 seconds of game footage, and I said, I'm going to run this on my TV show, I would have to ask for permission and a license to do that.
Yeah.
To broadcast that on TV.
I had a big conversation about this with Joseph a couple days ago or yesterday or something.
Is he online? Can we bring him in here?
We could. I could ask him.
Ask him.
Hold on.
There's a bazillion people in here.
It'll be exciting. Imagine that. Legendary Frog on the podcast.
But he was saying, it's
Frog,
like there's...
We got Strawberry Clock, we've got Gerkinman.
It's the has-been show, it's the has-been...
Strawberry Clock and Legendary Frog in the same room. That's going to be interesting.
Hold on. Let me just tell him Strawberry Clock is in the room.
Make sure you type it how you said it.
I would, but you can't type like that.
Just add an extra couple of O's.
Anyways, but what we're talking about how like it's a lot more complicated than people know. You can't just go and upload like video footage of a game and be like, well, that's just their producers that are work. No, I mean like they pay voice actors. The music is made by somebody. A lot of it gets outsourced to all kinds of different places. Like they got to pay royalties to all these people. So anytime it shows up anywhere, a lot of it's out of their hands. Like I mean, companies are way bigger than you think they are. So it's a lot trickier to just say like, fair use.
It's part of the game. Fair use. Yeah. That's what everyone's saying.
And that's something you brought up to me is people scream fair use all the time, but fair use is only like you can only include like 10 seconds of something. That's fair use
and
or whatever.
And it depends on the context and how it's used.
Is it educational? Maybe it can be used.
Yeah, if it's educational, it can be used.
Exactly.
That's the other thing people are saying too, is this is happening especially with people don't understand how licensed music works. This is one of my favorite things. They're like, Angry Joe this morning was talking about one of his videos where he used a club track. Now, he didn't modify the club track or anything like that, but he used it in a parody skit. And his justification was, it's parody. And it's like, well, you've made a parody, but that song, you're not parodying that song. You're using a legitimate track in your parody.
Yeah. This
That's
is something
not parody.
This is something I've... No, it's my turn.
Sorry.
No, that's all right. Kid. This is something that I've actually complained about a lot. Is that people seem to mix up parody, the cultural kind of definition, where it's pretty much satire to things that exist in popular culture, with the legal definition of parody, which is essentially making something that, in a sense, without copying the original idea, criticizes it or makes fun of it or in some way comments on that original idea. So when you see a parody on like TV that's like a real parody, it'll be like, instead of here's a good example from the old Clerks the cartoon. I doubt anybody's seen it, but there was a part where they actually had to parody Josie and the Pussycats, where the costumes that the characters in the show were wearing had triangles instead of spots. And this was actually from the legal team saying you can't make it spots because that's the exact same thing. You have to make it triangles because it's slightly different. That's parody, having it slightly different but enough to recognize what it is. Not adding jokes to Josie and the Pussycats. That doesn't make
and
it
that's
parody.
something that we had a discussion with Frederator in a big Google Hangout. They were talking about licensing and the issues and whatever, and someone brought up, I'm not going to mention any names or anything, someone brought up, somebody who does a Minecraft parody said, well, look, I want to make merchandise based on my cartoons, and my cartoons are all Minecraft parodies. Can I do that? And they're like, are you creating your own original characters? And he said, yeah, based on the Minecraft art style. So basically they look like regular Minecraft characters. And they're like, no, you can't do that. He's like, but it's parody. And it's like, no, you're taking other people's characters and that'd be like the cast of Robot Chicken saying we're going to re-release all the figures from our show as like actual figures. That's not how it works, and that isn't.
Well,
that isn't how
some people get away with it. I'm looking at you, Yogscast.
They must have one hell of a legal team for Robot Chicken.
I think with
I think people
though,
just
I'm
let Robot
sure...
Chicken use their stuff in the show, but Robot Chicken don't monetize the actual products that the figurines that they generate in the show. That's like, if I want to make a Minecraft cartoon and then sell shirts based on that Minecraft cartoon using the Minecraft characters.
Yeah, no, I'm sure they still have to pay for royalties. It's not a matter of, they probably just go to the company that owns it, say, we want to use this, and they're like, okay, here's your standard royalty figure. That's what I'm guessing it's like. I do know in the Gesundheit. I do know in the when they did the Star Wars thing, they didn't go out, the first Star Wars skits they didn't go out to Lucasfilm and just say, hey, we want to use this. They did it normally, must have gotten the royalties to use it, and then Lucasfilm and George Lucas liked it, and invited them in to talk to him. And then when they were there, Seth Green and the other guy, Matt Senrich or whatever, were like, hey, let's do a whole 30-minute special. And then they, collaborated and did a whole, couple of Star Wars things.
So to interject for just a second, Joseph Blanchett finally replied. And it's like, well, Strawberry Clock's room, and he goes, well, tell him to behave. It's like, that's a terrible joke, and you should be ashamed.
That's Joseph.
And he goes,
for you.
he should go, I should just join the room and play Lady Gaga in the background to just ruin like everything we're talking about, like not using commercial music and things.
Legendary Frog, the original troll.
But
he invented his
sorry.
parody.
Anyways.
I found that joke funny. Tell him that.
Yeah, I thought that was behave was clever. That's something that like no one under the age of 25 is going to get. Because you weren't born yet. Man, I
just said everyone thought your joke was stupid except for Strawberry Clock, who thought it was great. Where were we?
So I take it he's not joining us.
I don't know. He might.
Look,
he just says victory. He should.
If you want Legendary Frog to join in future podcasts, leave the comments below.
Remember to
so that we can show them to him to get him
comments.
In here.
He's another member of Toonworks. You'd think he would, but no. Like this whole thing. It's like I kind of feel it's like the world of the internet, which has so far just been kind of like almost anything goes, has finally begun to collide with like the world of legal problems, and no one knows what to do about it.
It's
like,
not the Wild Wild West it was in 2004.
Yeah, and it's like there's no such thing as like an internet constitution. I mean, like the internet is global. Like anyone from all over the world can submit stuff to it. So it's like
7 teraflops ago.
It's not like like in the U.S. these are our copyright laws. Like, well, but in the UK these are our copyright laws. Like it's totally different. So there's no like way to manage everything on the internet.
Yeah, it can't be done.
Yeah, so it's like our laws are way too archaic. So nobody knows what to do. Total Biscuit put it the best, and I love this quote because it makes so much sense. You've got your publishers and other people, and you've got your content creators and stuff like that. And they're on opposite sides of a big sound wall, and neither of them can hear each other talking. Like they've all got like both sides are doing things that are cool or whatever, and all they're doing is lobbing Molotov cocktails over the wall at one another, and no one's talking, no one's trying to solve these problems. It's just
it comes down to every website has their own their own rules and stuff.
Their
own terms and conditions that you agreed to when you signed up.
That's true
to
as
said
well.
Website,
When you signed up to YouTube, you signed a contract that said, "I will not upload copyrighted
There was a
material."
giant thing that you didn't read, and you clicked, "Okay, I've read this." So pretty much,
is that the thing where you scroll down to the bottom and press the big OK button?
Yeah.
Is that what that is?
Yeah.
Oh.
Pretty much.
Oh, I've been doing that on everything.
So essentially,
It'd be smart if they actually asked you some questions that were in that contract.
Yeah. So it comes down to everybody's personal website and what they decide is right or wrong.
Exactly.
It's.
Oh, go on, Casey.
I was just gonna say it's a mess. It's a huge mess right now.
It is.
I'm glad that there's a few people that are kind of getting out of it clean. I mean, like Total Biscuit is a good one.
Well, he's a managed network, so he's alright.
He's a managed, so yeah, like the August Cast, they're fine.
That's unfortunate.
you don't like the I like the August Cast, but like with Total Biscuit, he was saying because like with managed networks, it's like it's like they were considered the less riskful, but he was talking about how he's very careful with his content, and what he puts up. But he was saying there's a lot of other people that have been very careful as well that have gotten kind of the short end of the stick on this. So it isn't the fair system.
There's a bunch of content creators that have essentially been preparing this for the longest time, and they've gone to other sites like Blip and stuff, and uploading videos on their own personal websites as well, just in case this happens. And it is happening. So,
well, now
is Blip like a big place for Let's Plays?
No. Not for Let's Plays.
No, not really. It's just a video hosting website. So, yeah, but they don't have the same kind of mentality that you.
Because I only go there for Red Letter Media, and that's it.
Yeah.
Now here's something. Speaking of Red Letter Media, we talked about this too. That you've got like the Nostalgia Critic and all of them who do movie reviews, and it's like that's technically like you can't really get away with that. Like that's more like that's not really covered under fair use, and like they're. But you've got like Red Letter Media who do get away with it because they use trailer footage.
Yeah, not only that, but Red Letter Media have been working in video production for like 15 years, so they have a very good understanding of the lore and how it works.
Yeah, they're very professional at everything that they do, and it's like that's we were saying earlier. You get the average Let's Player or game reviewer or whatever, and just look at their videos, and it's like they're usually not great quality. I know that it takes a long time to develop the effects and stuff like that, but it looks like they must have done it over in like an.
It doesn't.
Well,
look,
dude, I've
rendered 24 Let's Play videos in the last 7 days, and it's taken me barely any effort at all. It's not hard work. Anyone who says it is obviously not very good at what they do.
Windows Media Player is taking ages to render.
That's true. If they're using Windows Media Player, then they're at a disadvantage in the beginning. I guess I have the advantage of knowing how to.
But like if you're adding in like effects and stuff, I guess Let's Plays weren't really what I was talking about.
Yeah, more like views and that. There's a lot of people who do like their fancy skits with their green screens and.
Yeah, they do lots of green screens, and
I get embarrassed when I see
looks
things
like garbage.
That. Yeah,
like Red Letter Media I'm sure they've used green screens here and there, but like they usually keep pretty practical. It always looks really good.
Yeah.
But it's like. It's all out of pocket. I would say that they're probably not that much more well off than most of these people. But these people are just like, I don't have the time.
Well, the Red Letter Media guys are subsidized by like they get they worked on that zombie documentary that's coming out. Like they get brought on to do other their fingers are in lots of pies because they're businessmen.
Red Letter Media is a production company. They are an actual production company. They've made movies. When they did the Star Wars review, they didn't know how they were going to take it. They do have a lawyer that I believe they talked to. I remember reading that somewhere, but there was still a thing for them. They didn't know how it was going to be, and they've moved on since then. They've figured out a way to work around any of these copyright limitations. I don't know if they do just because of the trailer footage. Maybe they try to get content. Maybe they talk to go back and talk to their lawyer about what's acceptable and fair use and parody.
Yeah,
but they try. That's the thing.
My point was more like, Mark, when me and you watched, let's say demo reel, and like the part with this requires context. But there'd be parts of it where they would like have
just let them talk. It's not going to go any shorter, Dan.
I can shut up if you want. No,
I don't know what demo reel is.
Yeah,
I was gonna insult it, but whatever.
Casey, what was the demo reel?
Oh, I don't know if I want to go into context.
It was just an embarrassing thing the Nostalgia Critic did. He thought it'd be really funny to try to blow up into this new format, and all he did was like embarrass himself and his friends.
The point I was going to make is you've got people like this where they rely on green screens and like GIF images to like do things, and it just ends up looking like crap. And everyone, like the outside world looks at that and says, "Well, what is this?"
This is how my work's being represented, and I'm not happy with it.
The specific thing Casey's probably trying to bring up is that in demo reel is that the Nostalgia Critic he actually rented out an entire studio warehouse, whatever it was. But he still did a lot of his stuff on green screen for some reason, even though they could just have space to build sets.
The sets cost money, Mark. Why would you do that when you can go to Google Images and copy-paste an image?
Get a whole studio if you're going to not spend money.
But that's the thing. It's somebody who...
Sit down and eat.
To put it back into our original context of what we're talking about, somebody who started with this one format that works on YouTube and tried to evolve it late in the game without really having that know-how, or seemingly having that know-how. And that's representative of the work and compare. I don't know where it's going with this.
Anyway, the point is, a lot of people are making bad stuff that poorly represents the media, the content they're talking about.
Yeah.
And that makes the businesses feel bad, and they don't want to have their content, their product associated with this terrible video content.
Yeah. Well, when lawmakers look at it, it doesn't really... They're not looking at it as an industry. They're looking at it as, this is a bunch of people just goofing around on camera. Who cares?
Mm-hmm.
You know? Yeah. But I mean, like, if it was more professional looking, you know.
And they're also looking at it as like, somebody's trying to take our money. Nope.
Yeah, exactly.
We spent a lot of money on this cutscene, and they've just taken it and put it on their YouTube video for everyone to see. So now no one's gonna. People, why play the game when we can watch? And that's the way a lot of them are looking at it too. A lot of them are just like, why are they going to play the game when they can see the whole game get played?
Yeah, at the end of the day, corporations don't really care, so they're just gonna do whatever they feel like.
Yeah. I'm gonna wrap this up now because it's been going for an hour and a half.
One last thing, real quick. We keep going back to the Microsoft Movie Maker. Do they use that just because it's the only thing they know that's available, or does it actually have some recording stuff?
It doesn't cost any money.
Okay, I'm gonna actually plug something. I'm gonna plug something right now. Go to a website called Free Serif Software. They have free versions of their older software, including a movie editing software. Use that. There you go.
It's not even a good excuse because that it's free. Because I mean, like, I'm not a popular man. Like I've done Let's Plays and stuff here and there. No one's really given a shit, but I've got pretty decent. I mean, like, I just got some I got 10 panels of green poster board and made a green screen out of it, and it works. You know, I mean, like, it cost me $10. Who gives a shit? Yeah, Mark has seen it. It works great. I got my little house lamps around the room, to do the lighting, and it's like I've got a pretty decently expensive webcam.
Let's playing guerrilla style.
Yeah, it's like, but people are like, I can't. This stuff's expensive. But it's like you can get around it, but like people don't think the industry needs to evolve. I mean, like, I hate to say it, but this kind of thing almost needed to happen to push people to do better. Because they haven't in a long time.
It costs money to make money. The Adobe, the entire Adobe suite's like $30 a month for all their programs. It's cheap. There's no reason to not have good looking work. It's got to be. I put it down to laziness. People just want to record themselves and just chuck it up online as quickly as possible so they can get onto the next thing. Because the more content you put out, the more views you get, the more...
That's been the formula, yeah. The formula...
Quantity over quality.
Yeah, quantity over quality is kind of how the internet seems to work now, with YouTube at least.
I think a lot of people look at it as is, I need to have the best of the best so I can be the best of the best so I can be better than all the rest.
Well, that's something... song. No, you said you're going to wrap it up, so I'll let you...
Yeah, I'm going to wrap it up.
So stop listening, go away.
No, I'm just...
Let's hear your rap, then.
Let's just have final thoughts. We'll just have final thoughts. We'll just have final thoughts from everyone. Just brief little summaries from each of us before we sign off. Alphabetical order, I guess. Why not? In the end, Dylan, what are your final thoughts, Dylan?
Yeah... Some people are there losing money, and it doesn't affect me, so do whatever you want. I don't care.
Well said.
You're an asshole, sir. No, I'm just joking.
I think possibly in about
asshole, sir. No, I'm just joking.
I think possibly in about a year's time, YouTube's going to lose a lot of traffic, but other than that, nothing's really going to change.
Interesting.
Because there probably won't be as many content creators out there if they can't earn money off it.
Yeah. What about you, Adam? What do you think is going to happen in the next year or so?
I don't know. I think they're just going to keep cracking down even more, and then people are going to find more ways around it, which they've done in the past.
People always find a way.
Oh my God, we're copyrighting everything thing has happened in the past, and people have found ways around it, and now they're trying to tackle this new way around it, and they're just going to, the cycle is going to continue on, and the people who aren't in charge are going to lose more power each time.
Yeah.
That's my opinion, and, like I said, if you're using someone else's content, they're entitled to some of the revenue that you get. And that's just my opinion.
Well said. What about you, Jess?
He said,
get some of them.
Welcome back.
I've been here the whole time. No, I agree with what Adam said. Also, it doesn't affect me any because I haven't hardly made a single cent, and I don't care because I'm not in it for the money. Regardless, no matter what happens, people are gonna get mad, people are gonna bitch, because not everybody can be happy, and that's just a thing that that's life. Get over it. I don't know. I don't really care whichever way.
What about you, Mark?
Mass migration to Vine. Everything in the future will be done in 6 seconds.
Oh God!
Everything to V 1 second videos.
Yeah.
1 second reviews. I think I could finally tolerate some of these guys.
Oh yeah, 1 second review. This game sucks. The end.
Yeah, done.
Copyright violation.
Yeah. I guess I'll go last since I'm wrapping things up. But I guess in the end, this will. I think if anything, it will separate the people who do this for the love from those who do it for the money, which I think is a good thing. And if it does go ahead, I guess people who were watching lots of Let's Plays will have to look for other things to occupy their minds. So this could be an opportunity for original content creators to get a little bit of attention that they wouldn't have got otherwise, because everyone's time was split between watching Game Grumps and PewDiePie. Even though those two channels are completely unaffected, so I guess that won't be the case in that particular example. But I definitely think that... my main concern is I don't care about this. This is all fair enough, but I do wonder sometimes if they're going to take it too far, and it's going to just start enveloping all kinds of things that there's really no need to, just to play it extra safe. That'll be my main concern. It can cover your ass too much sometimes. What do you think? Let us know in the comments below. Thanks for joining us.
Well,
thank you.
Well, I
Casey
think
has a gun.
Not you, as you people at home.
You're talking about the commenters. I'm a commenter. Look,
Yeah.
I'll comment right now. Look at this. Here we go. I'm making a comment on the thing. Hello, I'm hello.
That very nicely said, Casey. Thank you, Adam. Thank you, Casey. Thank you, Jess. Thank you, Dylan. Thank you, Mark. This has been Gerkinvision. We are out.
Oh, thank God.